Welcome to tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is all about how to win with prop firms in 2025. And before we get started, I do need to read a quick disclaimer. Blue Edge Financial makes no representation that any account will or likely to achieve similar profits. Past results do not guarantee future results, and these results may not be typical, and your results may vary greatly. Trading is risky, and you should only trade with money that you can afford to lose. Now that the disclaimer is out of the way, this is a critical live training tonight. In 2025, you are either going to become massively successful with prop firms or you're going to get completely wiped out. Things are changing in the prop firm industry in a big way. Now, there is good news on this presentation. I'm going to share with you towards the end of it this new hidden loophole that can actually pay you from prop firms regardless if you pass or fail their challenge. And the most interesting thing about this whole loophole or this strategy that I'm going to share with you is that prop firms secretly love this. And that may not make sense to you right now, but it will in just about a half hour. So make sure that you're sticking around for that. And just to give you an idea, this strategy that I'm going to share with you has already helped over 1,000 people become funded traders, including over 30 people that have used this exact strategy, and they've been able to get funded more than $1 million worth of trading capital. Now, here's the reality is mostly pretty much everyone else that's not using this strategy and this loophole that I'm going to talk about in just a second, most of you guys should probably just quit trading right now. Most traders are going to get completely wiped out in 2025. And the facts are that 95% of people that already sign up to take these prop firm challenges already fail. And to be honest with you, prop firms are only getting stricter. And let's be honest just for a second, guys. You were sold a dream, right? You were sold this dream of trading just a few minutes a day while lounging back in some European cafe and sipping a cappuccino and easily making $10,000 per month and being able to spend the rest of your time with your friends and your family members, right? This was the dream that you're sold, but instead, you got something like this, right? You got trapped into pouring countless hours looking into studying chart patterns, losing thousands of your hard-earned money, and a lot of the times without knowing where you actually messed up, right? And watching trades that you thought were for sure winners turn into losers, right? And I'm going to be honest, guys, trading and getting funded with prop firms is not going to get any easier in 2025. In fact, it's only going to get more competitive. Prop firms are becoming stricter with their rules. More and more big players are entering the market, and trading AI is a real thing and is becoming smarter every single day that's passing, which is pretty much sucking the market dry of any chances for profit and basically pushing the little guys, people like me and you, who just want to make this trading thing work so that way we could spend more time with friends and family. It's pretty much pushing us off a cliff. And while most traders are going to be forced to give up trading because they can't afford the losses anymore, on the other side, there is a small group of traders that understand what I'm going to share with you in just a second. And these traders are making $3,000, $10,000. Some are even pulling in $20,000 or $50,000 a month in payouts. And here's the thing. These guys that I'm sharing, these guys aren't experts. In fact, most of these people that I'm showing you on screen, they're complete beginners just a few months ago. Yet these people, they're not staring at charts for hours, relying on indicators or hoping that some institutional player doesn't hunt their stop loss. All these people are doing that I'm showing you on screen right now is they're taking advantage of this loophole, okay? And that's how they're seeing profits starting to flow into their accounts, okay? And the only difference between them and you is that they know how this loophole works and how to use it to their advantage instead of letting the prop firms use it against them, which is what most people are doing, and they're being tormented and sucked dry for their money and giving it all over to these prop firms. And this loophole, what it allows you to do is stack funded accounts. Some of these guys up into the millions of dollars worth of funded accounts. And some of them are banking 5-figure payouts month after month. And they're doing this working less than 4 hours per week, all without having to follow some YouTube gurus trading signals or relying on some sort of scammy trading bots. And here's the reason why this is working. The reason why this loophole works is because it leverages the exact same dirty tricks that Forex brokers have been using for literally decades to suck profits from its customers. the good news is that this means that just about anyone, anywhere, regardless of your skill or your background and experience, you can actually pass a prop firm challenge, get funded, and start getting payouts as long as you use this strategy in 2025 and beyond. Okay. So if you're wanting to avoid being completely wiped out in 2025 and you want to make instead 2025 the year that changes everything for you, where you don't have to spend the time working a job that you hate and instead use the time to chase your kids around or take your spouse on fancy date nights. If that's you, then give me a 777 in the chat box. If you guys are like, 2025 is my year, like I'm making a change in 2025, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to get a different result. And this is going to be my breakthrough year. If that's you, 777 in the chat box. Okay, fantastic. If that's you, then in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this loophole will allow you to pass prop firm challenges, get funded $100,000 or more with a trading capital, and then start actually pulling in payouts that can start to replace the income from your job. And as strange as all this sounds, prop firms secretly love being exploited by this. And I know that sounds weird, but you're going to see what I mean in just a second. And the crazy part about all of this is that this loophole is not some sort of like theory. This is something that we've been proving over the course of the last 12 months, and it's already helped over 1,000 people become funded traders, including over 30 people that have been funded more than $1 million worth of trading capital. Just take John Silks, for example. He was an office equipment technician from Missouri, and at the start, he just wanted some extra money to have like a kind of like a side hustle, but he figured out this loophole and saw how powerful this was, and he got funded 7 figures worth of trading capital. He was able to completely leave his job. And now what he's doing is he's actually traveling around America with his parents who are on kind of their elder years. And he's getting to help them experience the country before they go, right? Really cool. This is Kara Racina. She's a dance studio instructor. She had never placed a single trade before. She was, dance studio instructor. And I showed her this exact same loophole. And in her first 90 days, she got funded $300,000 worth of trading capital. Okay. Now I'm sharing this all with you guys to show you that, like, I don't have anything to sell here. Okay. Put your credit card away. I don't have anything to sell here on this webinar. Okay. So you can put your guard down. Okay. And I want to make sure that you guys are sticking towards the end of this presentation, because that's where we're going to show you our strategy on how you can make money regardless if you win or lose with prop firms. And most importantly, how you can go away from this webinar, you can copy this, and you can have a way to actually start repeatably making money with prop firms. Okay. Before I show you how this all works, quick introduction. My name's Adam Winnig. I've been an algorithmic trader for the past 7 years, and I'm a $1 million funded trader, and I've achieved what most people would consider the dream. I'm financially free. I make enough money from my trading efforts to support an awesome lifestyle. I've traveled the world. I have my dream house, my dream cars, and I've been really, really fortunate, really blessed with everything that I've been able to do. But it wasn't always like this. When I first started trading, guys, I had no idea what I was doing. Some of you guys know my story. I was playing golf one day in Florida. I got paired up with this guy who told me his story about how he was a trader on Wall Street and how his best trade ever, he had made $1 million in a single day. And so that got me hooked into trading. I fell in love with this idea of being able to sit behind my computer, click buy or click sell, not have to have employees, not have to clock in or clock out for a job, not have to do something that I hate, and be able to make as much money as I wanted. And so this is what I was after. But when I started, I had 2 big problems, guys. Number one is I didn't have a lot of money to trade with. And number two is that I didn't have a strategy to actually make money from the markets. And so I went on this long journey, like a lot of you guys, where I tried everything. I tried originally trading signals. I then started buying indicators on TradingView. I then started looking for different bots to trade robotically. I hired mentors. I joined different trading groups. And as hard as I worked at trading and as much as I invested into my trading education, I had nothing to show for it after several years of doing this. I remember I began to even question if it was actually possible to make an income trading and if people actually made money trading or not. And I remember I was just about to give up quitting on my trading journey because I just lost so much money. And I felt like all these guys that were selling me stuff, they were just these guys that were flexing Lambos in Dubai. I thought they were all just charlatans. And then after years and years and years, something finally clicked. And I discovered what I'm about to share with you on this webinar, and everything changed for me. It allowed me to become $1 million funded trader. I make a full-time income trading with limited risk, with huge upside potential. And I'm not fooling myself. I'm not one of these guys that's like fooling myself thinking I'm smart enough to predict where the market's going to go. And the best part about this is I don't have to pretend to be that guy. And on top of that, I do this in less than 2 hours per week. So if you guys are ready to learn how to win in 2025, 111 in the chat box if you guys are ready to get into this. Okay, fantastic. So there's 3 things that we're going to be covering, okay? 3 things that we need to do in 2025 in order to make 2025 our most profitable year ever. The first thing, number 1, is this is an obvious one, but we have to stop trading our own money in 2025, okay? I know I pulled a lot of you guys before this webinar. A lot of you guys are still trading your own money, okay? And look, I don't mean to be rude, but trading your own money is one of the dumbest things that you could do in 2025. Look, and I get it. When I first started, I was trading my own money as well, but I didn't have a lot of money when I first started. I invested all my savings pretty much into an account, which was like $10,000, which is all the money that I had at the time. And I realized that, hey, even if I was a successful trader and I could do a conservative 4% per month, that was only $400 a month. That couldn't pay for my rent. That couldn't pay for food. That was not going to change my life. And plus, I was risking kind of like all the savings that I had at the time. And you guys know the statistics. Okay, 90% of traders, they lose money. That's just the reality, right? And this is what the majority of people do. But I don't want you guys studying the people that are struggling or the people that aren't really winning trading. Let's look at the people that are winning at the biggest scale. Guys like Ray Dalio, who owns one of the biggest hedge funds of all time called Bridgewater Associates that has $150 billion in assets. Here's what I want you to learn from these guys. They're some of the richest people on the planet, some of the best traders on the planet, and even the best traders on the planet, guys like Ray Dalio, they don't trade their own money. He only invested like 1 to 5% of his own money, and then he traded other people's money, and now he has a net worth of over 16 billion. And here's what Ray Dalio and these really smart, rich hedge fund traders understand, is they understand the power in the trading business. Y'all are in the trading business or getting into the trading business, and here's the incredible thing about the trading business. It's one of the most scalable businesses on the planet. 4% is 4% is 4%. You don't have to work any harder. You don't have to hire any more employees. You don't have to sell any more product. You don't have to spend any more time. If you can do 4%, 4% is 4% is 4%. That means if you're trading with $10,000 and you make 4%, you make $400, right? If you're trading with $100,000 and you make 4%, same work, now we make $4,000. If you're trading with $200,000, 4% is $8,000. If you're trading with $500,000, 4% is $200,000. And this is what all the richest hedge fund traders understand. They understand that they don't necessarily have to become better traders. They just need more assets under management. They need more access to more capital. So how do you do that, right? How do you get access to more money? Number 1, you could go out there and you could raise money from friends and family members, okay? I don't recommend this. This is very risky. And plus, if you happen to lose Uncle Ted's money, okay, next Christmas could be very, very awkward, right? So we don't want you dealing with that sort of stress and the potential to ruin relationships. The second thing is you could take out a loan, right? I hear a lot of people that'll take out loans, a home equity line of credit against their house or something. Again, this is very risky because if you lose money, you're in debt. And if you've ever been in debt, I know I have, it's not a fun place to be in. The third thing that you could do to get access to capital is to find investors. But if you don't have a really long track record of being a successful trader, then finding investors is really a difficult thing to do. So what if there was a way that we could raise and get access to all this money without having to do any of the hard things that we just talked about? And as you know, prop firms are a thing, okay? And I know some of you guys are trading prop firms, some of you aren't. So if you're not, if you are, quick review, and then we'll get into how to make money with prop firms regardless if you pass or fail. But prop firms are beautiful because the way that they work is anybody from anywhere around the world can pay a test fee that's anywhere from like $100 to $500. They're going to issue you a demo account. If you can do 10% on that demo account, then they'll give you $100,000 to trade with. A lot of the times, the prop firms will let you keep up to 80% of the profits, right? So this is incredible. And the reason why I love prop firms is because they don't pull your credit. They don't ask you for your credit. It doesn't matter what your income is, doesn't matter what your skin color is or where you're at or how old you are or anything like that. And the best thing that I love about prop firms, unlike these other traditional ways of raising money, is that even if you lose money on the funded account, you don't have to pay back the loss. And this is just a risk that the prop firms understand and that they're taking and that they've taken into consideration with their business. Okay. Now, the cool thing with prop firms, right, is we could get 500,000 or $1 million. And again, the same 4% is 4% is 4%. You could make 4,000 or 20,000 or 40,000 by doing the exact same work, the exact same trades, but it just depends on how much money you have access to. And you may be thinking, how is that even possible? Getting $1 million funded? All these people that you see on screen, these are people that understand what I'm about to share with you, this loophole in this presentation. And these are guys that all took it and ran with it and have now been funded over $1 million with the trading capital. Some of them even $2 or $3 million, believe it or not. Okay. And they've got this fancy reward that we send out to them when they do get funded with $1 million worth of trading capital. So how many of you guys are with me? Like, you get this 777 in the chat box. If you get that, okay, first step is I need to stop trading with my own money. Guys, trading with your own money is risky and it's less profitable. You don't have to trade with your own money anymore. If you really want to make it big, do what the big guys do. They don't trade their own money. Okay, I know that all sounds good and all, and that's a review for some of you guys, but here's the big problem, right? The big problem, as great as these prop firms sound, is that 95% of people that sign up and pay the $500 for their test are not able to make the 10% profit. They fail and they just fork over that $500 challenge fee over to the prop firm, right? Okay, so that leads me to my second point is in 2025, you need to stop trading manually. Trading manually is one of the dumbest things that you could do in 2025. Look, the world is changing so fast and technology is changing so fast that if you really think that you're going to be able to compete with trading AI and some of the big players by being a manual trader, you're fooling yourself, right? This is kind of like taking a bow and an arrow and going into today's modern battlefield. I don't know if you've seen what's happening in Russia and in Ukraine, but this war is being fought with these high-powered drones that have no human beings in them that can literally track people down and shoot missiles from the sky. And this is, if you're manually trading, this is what you're up against in 2025. The technology is only getting better and better, especially in 2025. And look, here's the problem with manually trading. Number one, it's emotionally draining. It really is. It's a roller coaster. Secondly, it's time consuming, right? You have to go on a chart. You have to try to find a chart pattern. You have to try to find a good setup. And then you go in and you take the trade. And then a lot of you guys are watching the trade. So it's time consuming. A lot of the times people that are manual traders also get inconsistent result, and mostly because they have limited data. Your human brain, as smart as you may think you are, and I used to think I was really smart. I could take in these things. I could see these chart patterns. I thought I knew where the market was going to go. My human brain can only take in a limited amount of data in comparison to AI or a supercomputer, right? With automated trading, the benefits of automated trading is number one, it's emotion-free trading, especially when you guys hear what I'm about to share with you, how you can make money regardless if you pass or fail a prop firm challenge. It's the most freeing thing ever. Secondly, robots work for you 24/7. So whether you're at your son's baseball game or you're traveling or you're on an airplane or whatever you're doing, you're at work, the robot can be analyzing the charts 24/7, taking trades for you. You can also trade proven strategies, not just strategies that you learned from some random guru, right? And then the last thing is that you can, with a supercomputer, you can analyze so many more data points than the human brain can. And when I started automated trading was when I learned about this guy, Jim Simmons. He owns this company called Renaissance Technologies, and he's ran one of the most profitable hedge funds ever. And he exclusively uses quantitative and algorithmic models and has averaged 66% annual returns from 1988 all the way up until 2018. And he did that because he wasn't manually trading. He caught the trend of automated trading really early on, and he's pretty much beat all other hedge fund managers. You can see his fund, Renaissance Medallion Fund, compared to traditional hedge fund traders and managers, he's mopped the floor with them all day long, okay? And so the big aha that I had was like, at this point, I was like, what if I could do this? What if I could do automated trading with other people's money? That'd be like a double whammy, right? And so I went to my now partner, friend of mine at the time, Joe, and I was like, Joe, we have to figure out a way. I learned about this guy, Jim Simmons, and he's killing it forever. We have to find a way where we can build an automated trading system to pass these prop firm challenges so we can get access to more capital. When we first started getting into the game of automated trading, we started doing a few things. And here's a few solutions that you can dive into if you'd like to get into the automated trading game. One of them is called eabuilder.com. And basically what it is it's like a drag and drop automated trading robot builder. So instead of you having to become a coder, what we did when we first started is we bought this program and we just started testing different theories that we had about strategies that we thought could work. And if you're a manual trader, then you should do this anyways. But basically you come in here and you can say, okay, what are the conditions that I want in order to open a trade? What are the conditions that I want in order to close a trade? And instead of having to code this all for you, you just input what you want to have happen, how you want it to manage the money. And basically it'll spit out a robot for you that you can install into your trading chart and you can start automated trading. So this is kind of what we started with originally, which may be good for some of you guys. And then after that, I learned about this website called mql5.com. And this is basically a marketplace of tons of guys that are developers that have developed trading robots that you can come on here and you can look for one. And a lot of them will show their track record and all this sort of stuff. And you can buy one right on this website. And you can even find people that can code you an EA or a robot on this website as well. So here's another great resource that when we were first getting started, we used this a lot. We bought a bunch of different robots on here as well, hired people to help us code on there. But even today, now we have things like ChatGPT, which is pretty incredible, where you can basically just tell ChatGPT, hey, I want you to create a trading robot, an automated trading robot that'll trade on TradingViewer, will trade on MetaTrader 5 or whatever trading platform. And I want it to trade based on this strategy, and it'll spit out a trading robot for you. And this is a great way where now you don't even necessarily have to hire coders. ChatGPT can help code the project up for you to start. So these are some of the ways to get into the game. And when I started getting into the game of automated trading and building robots and this sort of thing, for about 2 years, we were in this game and we had built some robots that were successful, but a lot of the times we would have some varying levels of success and then it would hit this cliff and it would literally blow up the entire account. Have any of you guys been there? Have any of you guys traded with robots like this? 111 in the chat box. I'm curious if it's just me that like did really good for like a long time and then it like blew the entire account. Like some of you guys, have you been in this boat with me? Okay. So this is where we're at. And after like 2 years of trying to figure out this game, I had nothing to show for. I was like, we didn't have anything successful, let alone anything that could pass the prop firm challenges. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call from my buddy Joe that was working on this. And I was like, Joe, maybe we should just quit on this project. Maybe it's too difficult. And he kept chipping away. And on this phone call, he was telling me about how he had bought a Tesla. And he's like, Adam, Tesla's building self-driving cars. This was back a few years ago. And he's like, yeah, the way that it works is anytime that have my self-driving car going and I interfere with the self-driving car, it'll basically have this pop-up that comes up on the screen and says, hey, do you want to send this data back to Tesla to help improve the self-driving cars? And I got to thinking and I was like, that's really interesting. What Tesla did is they built this army or this hive mind AI where they basically have tens of thousands of customers that are all driving these supercomputers that are all sending data back to Tesla's central database. And what it's doing is it's noticing that if enough customers turn right early onto Main Street, then the self-driving cars will start turning right early onto Main Street. And this is how they're continuously improving their self-driving cars. And so on that phone call, I had this idea. I was like, Joe, what if we did the exact same thing? What if everybody that is trading with our trading robot Titan X, what if we set all that data back to one central database? And that way we could see which strategies are actually working best right now, specifically for passing prop firm challenges. And this was like our aha moment. And so we built what's known as the prop farming leaderboard. And essentially what this is it's a leaderboard that tracks over 500,000 different trading robots or trading strategies that are all designed to pass prop firm challenges. And then it filters the top strategies that are actually working right now, not the ones that worked in the past, but the ones that are working right now the best to pass prop firm challenges towards the top. Okay. And just to give you an idea, as you can imagine, this was not cheap to create. It cost us over $2 million over the course of the last 4 years, believe it or not, to create this system, but it's created something really, really powerful. So what it allows us to do is simply to sign up for a prop firm challenge, copy and paste the best AI settings from the leaderboard that are working right now, and then turn on auto trading in our trading terminal. Okay, so this is how this works. So this is our prop farming leaderboard, and it's a culmination of like more than 500,000 strategies that are all being ran every day. On the left here, you can see the name of the strategy. You can see the asset that's traded in the time frame. So this is gold on the 1-minute chart. You can also see the success rate, or how often it passed or failed a challenge. You can see how many days on average it's taken to pass or fail a prop firm challenge. See how many trades on average it took to pass or fail, the average volume, and it has this recency score that basically tells you how well has this strategy actually been doing recently, okay? And you can even pull open the results tab here, and you could see, hey, had I started a prop firm challenge every single day over the course of the last year, would I have passed or would I have actually failed? And you can see all of the results right here. Would you have passed or would you have failed with this particular strategy, which is pretty dang cool. So the best part about it is you can come on here, simply click download. You select what size prop firm account you're going for. So for example, 100K, you click 100K. You can say, are you in phase 1, phase 2? Are you trading a funded account? And then you basically go ahead and you just click launch strategy. And when you launch the strategy, what it's going to do is it's going to install this exact trading robot and strategy onto your prop firm account right here that you can see. Here's the robot right here. It's currently trading. It's in a trade. It's up $1,000 and it's in a trade right now. It has basically $600 floating profit. And all of the settings and inputs that made this strategy the top strategy are now installed onto my trading account right here inside of my trading terminal. Pretty awesome, right? So this is how we did it, right? There's a lot of ways that you can find an automated trading solution, but this is what we did. And this is what's worked really well for us. Now, to give you an idea, this is Gavin. He was a kid from Ohio, actually, grew up in a family single. He grew up in a single, his mom was single mom, grew up in a family, never had a lot of money, but he wanted to get into trading. He told me when he first started, he tried to pass a prop firm challenge manually. He failed 20 times in a row. This guy was really, really determined. And so he got a job basically to fund his prop firm gambling addiction, I guess is what you could call it at the time. Failed 20 in a row. I showed him automated trading and what I'm about to share with you in this next section about how you can pass or you can make money regardless if you pass or fail. And he's now been funded over $2 million with the trading capital. It's completely turned around his life, all because he started using automated trading with prop firms. This is Claire. She's an accountant from Australia. She had been trading for 12 years. She told me she had dumped $60,000, believe it or not, into her trading education. She thought she knew everything, but her results were not that good. She was still inconsistent even after 12 years and $60,000 invested. I showed her this automated trading system. I showed her how to use it with prop firms. And in 2.5 months, she got funded $1 million worth of trading capital. And I documented all this case study on our YouTube channel. So if you think I'm BSing you or whatever, you can see this all on our YouTube channel. And again, I'm going to be honest, these aren't typical results, and these are obviously really good results, but I wanted to show you what's actually possible with automated trading and prop firms. So the second thing in 2025 is that we need to stop trading manually, okay? Guys, you're bringing a bow and arrow to a drone fight, okay? So how many of you guys get this? 777 again, if you guys are getting this, why, especially in 2025 and beyond, the guys that are trying to trade manually, they're going to get eaten alive. So if you don't change, like it's only going to become more and more difficult. I promise you that. Okay. Okay, very good. So the last thing is in 2025, you guys need to stop losing money. How many of you guys are okay with this if I show you a way that you could stop losing money with prop firms? 333. We'll do something, we'll switch it up. 333 in the chat box. If you guys are okay, if you're like, hey, 2025 is just the year that I'm going to stop losing money trading. Okay. I'm going to stop making this an expensive hobby. Okay. And then you may be thinking, well, how is that even possible? Well, this is going to blow your mind. Okay. So when I started trading with prop firms and automated trading. Um, I started having a little bit more success than I was manually trading, but still, there was some times where I would fail the prop firm challenge. And when I would fail, I would lose my $500 test fee, right? And this started to add up, and I would sometimes go on these losing streaks, and I would lose $500 several times in a row, and it was difficult. Okay. And then I remember learning from this guy, you may have heard of him, named Warren Buffett, the greatest investor and trader of our day. He had two famous rules. He said, rule number one, don't lose money. Rule number two, see rule number one. And so I got to thinking, and I was like, well, what if when we fail a prop firm challenge, what if we didn't lose money? Like, how could we make that a reality? That'd be like sitting at a blackjack table, and this blackjack table is a magic blackjack table. It'd be like this. It'd be like you go to Vegas and you sit at this blackjack table, and when you have a winning hand, you get to collect chips. But when you have a losing hand, you don't have to push your chips to the dealer. How long would you guys sit at this blackjack table? Just curious. I mean, how many hands would you play? How long would you sit here? Forever, right? Like you'd sit here all day long and you'd play this. And then you may be thinking, well, Adam, that sounds too good to be true. That there's no way that that could actually be possible. And that's why this is going to blow your mind. And it is actually possible. Okay. And I'll show you proof in just a second. And it's possible through this concept that, to be honest, Forex brokers have been using forever, but it's this concept called hedging. Okay. And what hedging is simply when you buy something to protect yourself against something else. Okay. What I mean by that in this scenario, you may buy an umbrella in order to protect yourself against the rain, right? Generally, this is just a smart thing to do, right? Now, we're not talking about the rain in this scenario. We're talking about losing money. So instead of trading prop firms like everybody else does, where you just trade your prop firm account, you try to do the best that you can, you try to pass, instead of trading one account, when we're hedging, we're going to trade two accounts. Okay, so the account on the left, let's say this is our prop firm account, and the hedge on the right, we'll call this our hedge account. Okay, and the way that this works is, say for example, we take a buy trade on our prop firm account. At the same exact time, we're going to take a sell trade on our hedge account. And this hedge account is just an account that we have with some of our own money, like $1,000 worth of our own money in it. Okay. Now, what happens if we lose $500 on this trade on our prop firm account? We'll make $500 on the trade in our hedge account, right? Now, let me bring this to reality and show you a case study. So this was a prop firm challenge that cost me $417 with a discount code. So $417. And as you can see, I failed miserably. Okay. Now, normally I would have been out $417. Okay. And this is how most people trade with prop firms. But what I did is I set aside some money into a hedge account. And as you can see, every time I took a buy trade on my prop firm account, I took a sell trade in my hedge account. And when I took a sell trade on my prop account, I took a buy trade on my hedge account. And so even though this challenge cost me $417, and normally I would have lost $417, my hedge account actually made me $395. So I only lost, what is that? $22. So how many of you guys would rather do this, where when you fail, you only lose $22 instead of losing $417? One-on-one in the chat box if you guys would like to be able to do that as well. One-on-one if you think that, like, yeah, that's a good thing. That's something that's good. Okay, and here's the secret. Prop firms secretly love that we do this. Why do they love this? Because we're not losing money when we fail a prop firm challenge. And at the same time, this allows us to go in and take more prop firm challenges, which basically gives the prop firm more money. So they secretly love this, even though they'd never admit it. They actually love this. Okay. Now, I got to thinking, as great as this is, I was like, well, what if there was a way, regardless, if I pass or fail, what if there's a way that we could make money regardless if we pass or fail? That'd be pretty incredible. And it's actually possible. And it's possible through something that we coined over hedging. Okay. And here's how over hedging works. This is a case study. This was another prop firm challenge that cost me $398. Okay. As you can see here, again, I failed pretty miserably. Boo-hoo. Normally, I would have been out $398, but in my hedge account, you can see I actually made $951 in my hedge account. So I literally got paid $500 to fail a prop firm challenge. How many of you guys would like that? How many of you guys think that 777's in the chat box? If you could get paid $500 to fail a prop firm challenge, I know some of you are like, yeah, I'm pretty good at failing prop firm challenges at this point. So if I could make $500, yeah, that'd be a decent thing, right? And I'm teasing a little bit, but that's the reality. Okay. Now, when I trade with prop firms, regardless if I pass or fail, I'd make money majority of the time. Okay. And just to transparently show you guys, here is my tracking spreadsheet. And here is a challenge that I took with a prop firm called E8, $100,000 challenge. It cost me $398. As you can see right here, I happened to fail it, but I actually made $977. Okay. So in this case, I basically got paid $580 to fail a prop firm challenge. Here's another example. E8, 100K account, cost me $397. I made $733. So I literally got paid to fail this prop firm challenge. Okay. This is pretty incredible. And again, look, I'm not some special snowflake. I promise you guys, I'm not even that good of a trader. I'm really not. It's just been, I've been at this for years and I've had some insights that maybe you not have had yet. Okay. And this is Beck, for example, to show you that it's not just me. Look, she said, my first overhedged result, she paid $466 for the challenge. She said it recovered $827. So she made $361 for failing a prop firm challenge. She said, failing while overhedging is winning. But I think this guy, J Mark, who's a trader in our community, I think he said it best. He said this, he said, I failed two $50,000 E8 pro challenges in 10 days. And because of overhedging, I withdrew over $1,000 in profit and I bought two new challenges. He says, it's like getting a payout even if you fail. He says, I'm getting addicted to overhedging now. He says, this is funny. He said, the more challenges I fail, the more money I make. The more challenges I pass, the more money I make. BEF makes me more money, is his conclusion, basically. So the reality of this whole scenario is there's two outcomes. If you're doing this properly, there's two outcomes. Either you get funded $100,000, which is great, that's the goal, or the other outcome is you lose nothing if you're hedging, or if you're over hedging, then you potentially even make money, which is pretty insane. Okay. So do you guys get why this is kind of like sitting at a blackjack table where when you win, you get paid, and when you lose, you don't have to push it in your chips, or maybe you even get to collect some money even if you lose? Pretty cool, right? Okay. So in 2025, the goal is stop losing money. Okay. Stop losing money, especially when you don't have to. So to recap where we're at so far, okay, how to win in 2025. Number one, stop trading your own money when you don't have to. Number two, stop trading manually. You're going to get eaten alive in 2025 and beyond. And number three is to stop losing money, especially when you don't have to. Okay. So my question at this point is, how many of you guys would like to duplicate my results or some of the other people that I've been sharing with you on the screen? 333 in the chat box if you guys would like to just be able to duplicate our results. Okay. If you're like, yeah, I'd like to duplicate your results, you guys have three options at this point. Okay. Option number one is you could do nothing. You're going to sleep on it. Tomorrow's going to roll around and you're going to go back to regular scheduled programming and nothing's going to change for you. Okay. You don't do something different, not going to get a different result. Second option, you could do what I did. Okay. And you could go out there and hire a team of developers and traders and analysts, and you could spend $2 million over the course of the last 4 years doing this. And this is exactly what I did. I did it the hard way. Okay. Or the third thing that you could do is you could go to start.propfarming.com and you can fill out an application to see if you qualify to join our trading team. And if you qualify to join our trading team, then I'll basically just give you everything that we've already created for a tiny fraction of the cost that it cost me to develop all this. So I'll give you everything: the HiveMind AI leaderboard, Titan X, the robot, the hedging system, everything. And the reason why you actually have to fill out an application is because we really can't accept everybody. Okay. You do need to be financially qualified to use this strategy. You do need to have some basic computer skills in order to make this work. And we're also going to set you up with a one-on-one success coach. That's somebody that's a real professional algorithmic trader. Most of them that have been funded over $1 million worth of trading capital. And on top of that, there's a few things that would be required on your end. Like one of them being that you need to contribute your data towards our community so that we can improve from the data that you provide. Okay. Now, after you fill out the application on that page, we're going to have a quick call. If you are pre-approved through the application, you'll be able to schedule a call with our team. And on that call, we're going to explain our exact same strategy and show you how we could get you to $3,200 per month and then how to scale that beyond that. Okay. And if you are a good fit and you agree to what would be required of you, then we're going to basically give you an opportunity to license everything that we've talked about. Our Titan X algorithm, a HiveMind AI leaderboard, the hedge bot, and we're going to set you up with that professional algorithmic trader. And for those of you guys that are qualified and do make it past that process, then we actually have a 180-day money-back guarantee where basically if you don't get funded, then you don't pay, okay? And for those of you guys that are on this webinar tonight, we do have a special bonus for you guys that if you do get approved, then you actually can get $1,000 credit if you're on this webinar. Just mention to our team BEF1000, and you'll actually get $1,000 credit. Okay. So this is not going forever. This offer does expire Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Okay. We're actually going to be making this offer expire, taking it down, or when the 50 spots are available. I basically had to pay my guys to work this weekend to speak with you guys, and we have 50 spots that are available. And I know there's several hundred people that are on this call right now. We have 50 spots that are available. Okay. So when these spots are all gone, they're gone. Okay. We only have a certain number of people on our team that can speak to you guys. And so when these spots are gone, they're gone. Okay. So what you need to do is just go click the button below or go to start.propfarming.com to fill out the application to see if you qualify. And I know some of you guys are like asking, hey, Adam, if this system is so good, then why aren't you just using it yourself? And I am using it myself. Okay. I use this product every single day. I've built it for myself. And the reason that we're doing this is for a couple reasons. Selfishly, number one is to train our AI to further improve our results and our strategies even more. And then the second thing is we want to create more insane success stories to help market the business and fund the product development even further, right? Like I mentioned, it cost me $2 million to create this at this point, so it's not been cheap, okay? I know a lot of you guys are thinking like, what's the cost of this? Okay. The cost is going to depend on a couple things. And that's why I don't just have like a checkout page for you ready to go right now. It's dependent on a couple things. Number one, how big it is that you're looking to scale. And then number two, how much support that you're needing. If you fill out the application, you are qualified, then you'll speak to our team and they'll get an idea of what it is that you're looking to accomplish and either make a recommendation or make a recommendation to another company that can maybe help you better. Okay. Now, is it worth it to spend 5 minutes to fill out an application and talk to our team? Well, if you're currently not making money consistently with prop firms, if you're not making $3,200 per month, we're going to show you a plan to do that. If you're currently failing prop firm challenges and losing money to test fees, then it's absolutely worth spending the time to speak to our team. And if you just like a shortcut and not have to go through the pain that I had to go through, then this is going to save you years of frustration. Okay. And guys, let's just be honest. The other way is stupid. Okay. The other way is stupid. It's stupid to trade your own money, right? When you don't have to. It's stupid to try to predict the markets, manual trading. It's stupid to keep losing money when you don't have to. And what this is going to do is it's going to save you time and shortcut the path to success. And again, this isn't some theory. This is already proven by over 1,000 people that have become funded traders. You could try this entire system out for 180 days. And if we don't help you get funded, then you don't pay us a penny. Okay. So for those of you guys that are interested, you can see if you qualify, you can go to start.propfarming.com. But what I want to do right now is actually go ahead and bring up a couple of people that have been with us that were customers of ours, and they have become very successful. And now actually we've hired them as success coaches. And I want you to hear from some of the people that have used this system. And then after you hear from them, we'll go into Q&A and answer questions as well. So first off is I have Josh here. Josh started as a customer of ours and became very successful. And so Josh, why don't you just tell like in 1 or 2 minutes, just why you wanted to become a successful trader in the first place? And then what did you struggle with before finding out about Blue Edge and about this strategy here?
Yeah. Hey, Adam. So it was about 3 years ago that I began trading. That's when my whole trading journey started, especially with prop firms. That's when I first heard about prop firms, and I was like, this is a really neat opportunity because, I mean, most of us will never have that much capital or access to that much capital in our lives. So I was a manager at Walmart back then. And then once I learned about prop firms, learned about trading, I was like, I gotta like really take hold of this opportunity, go all in. So I ended up actually quitting my job. I had enough savings saved up where I was fine working for a little while, or not working for a little while. And then that's when I was like, yeah, I'm making this trading stuff work for me. So I tried manual trading. I tried a whole bunch of EAs. Um, like I literally tried everything in regards to like passing prop firm challenges. And eventually I got to the point where I did get a few payouts, but then I just started gambling with my accounts and just trying to pass challenges consistently was just impossible for me. So it was at that point I was on YouTube, found or I saw a Blue Edge ad. I didn't even find your YouTube channel. Um, Clicked on the ad. I was like, okay, we'll check this one out. This is probably the final straw before I have to quit trading and get a real job or get a normal job, a 9 to 5 again. And like at that point, I was so skeptical of EAs and just like trading gurus and all the fake stuff on there. But when I noticed, like, so I had the call with Blue Edge, it was like, okay, this seems a little bit different than from what everybody else was promoting and advertising. And it was really what got me to join was Blue Edge has such a different mindset towards towards prop firms, towards trading, and that's really what kind of motivated me and like changed my mindset in this whole prop firm trading. It's the farming mindset where you plant seeds and they'll grow in funded accounts, basically, and you just have to do the process enough times where you will have a farm. So I've been part of Blue Edge, as you know, for almost 2 years at this point. But just in 2024, I got $68,000 in payouts. I'm now funded $2 million overall, which is pretty nice. And then this year, I bought my dream truck, and it's just like, I mean, I'm making at least 2 or 3 times more just from prop farming what I was making as a manager at Walmart. So it's really changed my life completely.
Awesome, Josh. Thanks so much for sharing with us. Your story's awesome. I mean, from manager at Walmart, going all in on trading, ready to throw in the towel, and now look at where you're at. It's really, really cool to see. I also have Dylan on the call with us. Dylan has an interesting story. Is maybe one of the youngest customers that we've ever had. But Dylan, why don't you just share with everyone like how did you get into trading? Why did you get into trading? And then what are some of the stuff that you struggled with before finding this?
Yeah, of course. So to start off, you are right. I am young. I am 20 years old right now. Will be 21 in just under 2 months. The reason I got into trading so early is because my family is much more financially savvy. My dad went to college to be a broker and stuff like that. So I had a lot of knowledge before. And over time, it was like, whoa, there's a way that you can use money to make money. And that was kind of a reflection on me when young. By the time I was a teenager, I had my own sort of brokerage account. As a minor, you can do that in some states. But yeah, I started, and over time, I kind of realized this isn't as easy as you think it is. There were days where, I was down 50%, up 100%. I had absolutely no system. And honestly, I'm glad I had that lesson when I was a kid because I didn't have, any responsibilities behind me that, losing money was a super huge deal. So, eventually by the time I became an adult, I was sort of, put myself down as like, hey, I need a system. I can't be, gambling my money left and right. I need structure. So, over time, I was just learning of things. And that time I've learned of algorithmic trading. It's something I thought, only the big players can do. But, if you have the knowledge, small players can do it as well. So eventually, in my YouTube recommended, I got a video from Blue Edge. And, I watched it, watched, how their prop farming works, and it seemed pretty interesting. But I was, of course, as Josh said, pretty skeptical. So basically, I kind of looked into it, watched multiple videos, and the two things to me that made me actually book the call was one, they had the guarantee, which I believe was mentioned earlier in the presentation about how if you don't get funded in 6 months, you get your money back. So just knowing if I put my money down and I don't get results, I can get it back. And also that they put the stats forward and they seemed realistic, and there was just a huge team behind it. So I ended up booking the call and going into things. I joined back in December of 2022. Next month, I took a challenge and I got funded on my first account. And for that account, I believe I held it for like 6 months. I was able to consistently get payouts on it. And my first year, 57,000 in payouts, which is amazing for, my age. I was like 18 when I signed up, 19 when I, got my payout. And yeah, it's basically people my age, they don't make that much. Typically they're in college, but I now have savings under me that, I once I figure out a good path in life, I have it there. And I've just been continuing to prop farm and continuing to earn money, and with new methods like over hedging, just able to consistently put my capital forward and get more capital from it, as I said was my desire in the past.
That's awesome, Dylan. Thanks so much for being here and sharing with us. And Josh, I'm curious how, with the introduction of hedging, I mean, how has that changed the game for you? I know a lot of people were kind of mind blown hearing about this. How did that change things for you when you learned about hedging and over hedging?
Yeah. Well, since hedging kind of cut, well, that's the biggest issue I ran into trading manually with prop firms and just trading in with prop firms in general is you're always fighting like the pass rate and trying to get or trying not to lose challenge fees. So over this year, as we've implemented hedging across our accounts, basically it's allowed me to scale. So I went from running like 3 to 4 accounts at a time to up to now I run 10 accounts at a time and I keep going up from there. And that's what allows me to bring in like 10K a month and that kind of thing.
Thanks so much for being on here. What we'll do is we'll answer questions because I know some of you guys were confused. It's different parts and whatnot, or maybe have questions about, what it's like to join our trading team or something like that. We're going to open up for Q&A. If you have questions for me or for Josh or Dylan, then feel free to fire away in the chat box. And we'll try to just answer as many questions as possible, provide as much value as possible. And yeah, I know not everybody is going to get accepted, is not going to qualify for this, but still, hopefully you can take away the same concepts and implement it, right? Start thinking about trading other people's money, start thinking about how you can start automating more of your trading, and then how you can hedge your risk, which is most important. Yeah, Andrew, we recorded it, so we'll send it out to everybody. The price is going to vary. It depends on, first off, it depends if you qualify. I know not everyone's going to qualify, unfortunately, but if you do qualify, the reason you speak to somebody on our team is because we want to understand like what you're looking to do and how big you're looking to scale and how much help that you're needing. And when you tell us that, that'll give us a better idea of like which program is going to be best for you to come in at. So it's going to vary for sure. So how do we manage trades? Is the process passive or do you have to monitor trades and close each one out? Yeah, so that's the great thing about automated trading is, okay, so here's a trade that's open for me. I didn't spend any time looking for this trade. The robot looked for the trade. The robot entered the trade. I just happened to see it because I pulled this up for you guys, but normally I don't even look at it. And you can see once it hits a little bit more profit, it'll probably close the trade and it'll do it all automatically for you. So you're not, oh, look at that. It literally just closed it. You guys see that? That was pretty cool. It literally just closed the trade. So you can see here in history. Oop. You saw that I didn't do that. So that's exactly what happens once it decides to close it. A $1,500 profit. And there you go. That was like pretty lucky, but that's how that works. Good question though. What is the lowest account size we need for the hedge bot? We work with a 20K account. Yeah, the 25K is probably the smallest account that I would use for hedging, because if you go any smaller than that, then the broker fees will cut into your profitability a lot. So I would probably not do any smaller than that. So good question. So how much do you lose when you hedge and you pass the prop firm challenge? So for example, let's say you have a $500 test fee and you want to recover $500. Now it's great if you fail, which happens the majority of the time, right? You'll fail majority of the time, but you should make back the $500, right? If you happen to pass the prop firm challenge, then of course you've lost the $500 in your real account. So when you get your first payout, let's say, for example, you get a payout of $3,200 on this funded account. Of course, your net profit is going to be $3,200 minus this $500 that you've lost, right? So your first profit will be less, but you also got this funded account risk-free, which Warren Buffett's famous rules is don't lose money, right? And if I had one piece of advice is to obsess over how to not lose money versus how to make money when it comes to trading specifically. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. So Peter has a good question. Isn't hedging forbidden by prop firms? So prop firms, they don't want you hedging in a sense that you open up two accounts with them and you just take a buy trade and a sell trade. Prop firms don't allow that because it becomes riskier to their business, but we're not talking about doing that. We're hedging on a completely separate brokerage account that has nothing to do with the prop firm. So the prop firm doesn't care about that, nor do they have any way that they could possibly tell that you're ever doing that. So yeah, it's not hedging in the way that the broker talks about it. Hopefully that makes sense. I can clarify if you need me to clarify on that. If you share your data, will that break the prop firm IP rules? No. So that's a good question. Also, Prosperi, is that how you say it? You got some good questions. So we actually built in what we call uniqueness features into our robot and into our strategies. So actually everybody that's trading with our system, they're actually trading unique strategies, because the prop firm, what they don't want is they don't want everyone trading the same strategy, or else they're going to get, it's a lot of risk on one trading strategy, right? And so everyone has slightly unique strategies, which allows everyone to be unique. So we primarily trade gold. So Mohammed, good question. So with overhedging, the win is bigger. If the win is bigger than the challenge fee, what about the loss? Same thing. So say, for example, your challenge fee costs you $500, but you want to recover 1,000, but you happen to pass the prop firm challenge. That means you lost $1,000, right? So instead of making that $3,200 payout, for example, you make $3,200 minus the $1,000 that you lost. So you make a smaller net profit, but you cut your downside risk to like 0, right? So that's how that works. Good question, though. More questions about this, about the strategy? No. Okay. Just so I'm really clear, we don't give any signals for people to trade or anything like that. It's all done through, this is automated trading. It's not signal trading. It's automated trading. The robot is installed on your trading terminal, as you can see here. It's searching for the trade. When it finds the trade, it automatically enters the trade. When it's ready to exit, it automatically exits the trade. There's no signals here. How many payouts do you think you made on that one account?
On that one account, I think it was like 28,000 after split.
Yeah. So $28,000 worth of payouts. So yeah, you may make $500, but you have the opportunity to make much more money. And again, you're not always going to make $28,000 on a funded account, right? I'm not promising you that, but the numbers, all of our data says you should make a lot more money with the funded accounts. What is the risk reward ratio your bot looks for the target? The sweet spot that we've seen is to risk like 1 or 2% into go for 2 to 4% reward. So a lot of the times we're looking for like a 1 to 2 risk reward or like a 1 to 1.5 risk reward. It's kind of the ideal. So can I show the backtest results for Titan X drawdown wise? It's irrelevant. We don't trade it on a personal account. So it's pretty much completely irrelevant. We only trade this with prop firms. So it doesn't really matter.
Adam, I was just gonna say the back test is almost like when you showed the leaderboard and showed how it performed, that's kind of like the back test.
Yeah. You can see on the leaderboard, you can go there if you want, leaderboard.bluedgefinancial.com. You can see the strategy here. Like, for example, this strategy, each one of these is unique strategies, but you can see it happened to pass 66% of the time over the course of the last year and 71% of the time over the course of the last 12 weeks. Each strategy is going to have different. Like this one passed 82% of the time over the course of the last 12 weeks. And the reason, okay, so some of you guys are saying about the back test thing, like I'm not trying to be a dick, but look, this is all the point that I'm just trying to make is that each one of these strategies, they all trade completely differently. Okay. So this is what's different than like, if you've ever just bought like a trading robot in the past or something, there's one strategy that it trades. This has a ton of different strategies. So each one is going to have a different result because each one is a different trading strategy, right? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Do we hedge when trading the funded account only on the first payout? But then once we're playing with house money, we don't hedge anymore. Yeah, Peter, good question. Do prop firms tolerate this? Yeah, guys, we've helped over 1,000 people. It's not some theory or something that we're just like figuring out now. We've helped 1,000 different people get funded. We're not working with shady prop firms either. There's no HFT prop firms or ones that just pop up overnight. We're using FTMO, Fivers, Funding Pips, E8. We're using all of the top prop firms, Funded Next. Okay, good question. So why do you need multiple strategies if it's working? Okay, so here's what I found. This is my personal experience with trading with robots, but my experience was that I would trade a robot and it would do really good for a while. And it would do really good for a while in a certain market condition. When the market condition changed, the bot would no longer do well. And so what my experience was that I kept going on buying a bot or creating a bot, and it'd work good for a while, and then it stopped working when the market changed. And I have to find a new bot, and then it worked good for a while until the market changed. And so the whole idea behind the prop farming leaderboard here that you see now is that we can see which strategies are working best right now, not which strategies worked best like a year ago, but which strategies are working right now. And so that's why there's constantly new strategies on this leaderboard, because we're trying to constantly create even better strategies, and the market's changing. So while this strategy may work really good right now, in 7 days from now, it may not work as well. And so that's why we do that. Hopefully that makes sense. Do you trade stocks, futures, or options? We trade Forex. We trade gold. How do you manage all those robots? It's not that difficult. It takes like 10, 15 minutes to set it up. And then what I do is I just check each one each day. So I run like 15 different accounts at a time. So it takes me a little bit more time, maybe like an hour or two a day for all my trading, but that's pretty good. But if you're doing it at a smaller scale, like you're just running a couple, challenges at a time, then it doesn't really take that much time. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Kevin, so not exactly. So we're not buying 2 prop firm challenges. I'll go back so you can see it. Okay. So you're taking one prop firm challenge. This is what you see on the left. And then on the right, this is like my personal brokerage account. It's through a company called Ox Securities. This is my hedge account. So I'm not trading necessarily another prop firm account that I'm hedging against. I'm trading some of my own funds, if that makes sense.
Scott had a good question. You don't need like $100,000 in your personal account to hedge.
No. Oh yeah, that's a good question. No, you need like 3 times the challenge fee. So for example, if your challenge fee is $400, you'd want about $1,200 in there. Kind of like an easy rule of thumb. So good question, Joel. So how often are updates required on your end for the bots? Basically, I just set it up when I start the challenge and I let it run until it either passes or fails. And I don't touch it. Okay, good question, Mike. So Mike's asking, takes one trade and then we take the manually on the hedge trade? No, I should have clarified that. The bot does both. The bot will trade both the prop firm account and it'll automatically trade the hedge account. So it'll automatically do all the calculations. Yeah, you could use any broker that you like to. There's a couple of brokers that at least we know works really good with this. And I mean, it should work with any broker, but you know, as long as you can have good leverage, that's kind of the key. So if you can get 1 to 500 leverage, that's really good. How much money do I personally make with the bot? This month I've gotten $15,000 in payouts so far. So I make enough to make a full-time income trading and pay for my life. Yeah, David, if you want to see P&L and all that sort of stuff, I've done YouTube videos where I show all of my challenges, pass and fail, like all that data. We can send that to you. Also, you guys can join our free Discord channel if you're like, does this actually work? If you're skeptical about that, I get it. I'm just some dude on the internet, right? Who the heck am I? Join our Discord and see for yourself. And again, it's not special. It's just math. That's all we're doing here. Mel, what's the process for beginners who've never traded before? That's a good question. Depends on what it is that you're looking to accomplish. Exactly. But I'd say the process for beginners, we do have people that come in and they're beginners. Like I showed you, Kara, she was a dance studio instructor. She's actually a mother of 5 kids too, believe it or not. So she's super busy. She had to shut down the dance studio when she was having her last baby. And so she needed something where she could make money from home. We basically showed her, she was super ambitious. She learned everything real quick and she's been killing it. She's been doing really well. I don't know if you remember her testimony, blonde lady from the beginning. Yeah, 1 to 200 leverage is fine, Danny. Yeah, the more the better. 500 is best, but if you can only get 1 to 200, it'll work also. Which prop firms does it work on? Any prop firms that allow EAs, which is the majority of them. The ones that we mostly trade with are FTMO, Fivers for international people. So if you're outside of America, those are the main ones. People inside of America, we mostly trade with E8. We trade with Funding Pips. We trade with Blue Guardian, InstantFunding.io. These are kind of the main ones that we trade with. And we're always like testing new prop firms and stuff like that, but we try to go with ones that have been around a while, that have a reputation.